These 3 episodes involving Fosters are interesting to say the least. While the last episode of this week is the least interesting in compared to this and tomorrow's episode, whenever I think about Bloo in these episodes, people barely talk about Bloo in these episodes, which is really saying a lot considering that the majority of people discussing Bloo's character is mainly the episodes in seasons 3, 4, and even before those. But when it comes to seasons 5 and 6, while preparing to mess with Dutch's tea party, Mac ditches out because he's extremely busy, which he keeps a secret from Bloo, and Bloo ends up becoming suspicious that once he sees Mac in a tuxedo, he laughs at it, but after learning more about the information, it's revealed to him that Mac is getting married. And after talking to Monsieur, who is a teal imaginary friend, tells him the story of how his friend abandoned him because she got married. This convinces Bloo to do anything to prevent Mac from getting married, as in being mature so that he and Mac can stay together. And thinking about that information alone, it really gave me the impression that people skipped this episode, not understanding the meaning of Bloo's choices. Granted, Mac was never going to get married because it was all a misunderstanding, but oddly, throughout this entire episode, Bloo didn't do anything selfish or completely difficult for the other characters to overcome due to his attitude. Like, throughout this episode, Bloo's attitude is really paranoid on losing Mac, and judging of how that he is trying to attempt to be mature, I'm pretty sure that the people who really wanted Bloo to become better, they really saved this episode to showcase Bloo's good side. Every time I look at Bloo in this, he really tries so hard to carry the episode to the point that when he's not selfish, he is just either losing his mind since that nobody ever listens to him, and when there's some people who listens to him, it's mainly through relatability, to the point that Monsieur, who ends up crying with him through almost a minute or more, honestly, that's a little too much, considering that it just fills up the one time of 22 minutes, but truth be told, regardless if Bloo knocked him off the ledge twice in this episode, honestly, what else would Bloo relate to if no one is able to relate to him back? But with the issue of Mac not telling Bloo the truth, obviously this episode wouldn't happen, and Mac keeping this from Bloo is mainly a way of him not getting make fun by Bloo, but at the same time, the fact that he doesn't question the different activities that he and Bloo were doing, honestly, I find it really difficult to see his point of view of not understanding, considering that he went through so much with Bloo in the past that at this point, why isn't he questioning Bloo about his choices when it comes to attempting to be mature for the sake of him being with him forever? Granted, he did miss the point, but it literally makes Bloo crashing the wedding really odd to see his reaction. Granted, everyone else has every right to come after Bloo, but at the same time, knowing that Mac is unable to marry someone since that he is too young, and he should have gave Bloo the heads up of what is really going on. Honestly, the fact that Bloo is all white, the fact that Mac is all white, that his cousin isn't going to get married due to Bloo, honestly, I can't say that Mac is desensitized, because if he was desensitized from the many times that Bloo has caused so much trouble, he wouldn't have the right to be annoyed or frustrated by Bloo's choices when it comes to the 3 acts of Bloo trying to be mature while taking Mac with him. Like, the 3 bits, well, they try to be mature, is supposed to be humorous and whatnot, but the more you think about it, it really gave you the impression that Mac just doesn't even understand that Bloo is trying everything to get close to Mac, and he just doesn't see it. It just makes me feel like that whenever this show attempts to have Bloo bonds with Mac, even at a young age, it just makes me believe that they just didn't know what to go with it due to making Bloo unlikable due to Cartoon Network executives. The only way to look into these episodes normally when it comes to Bloo's character is if you ignore all the bad things that he did, which, compared to the Loud House, it's actually possible when it comes to how this show is handled, even though that the bad episodes have so much that it's difficult to ignore. But truthfully, whenever I look at Bloo in these episodes, it really makes me convinced that this is what the people who worked on this show want Bloo to be. Because with season 5 and 6 being mostly the seasons that are mostly a mixed bag, with season 5 being superior, they really want to attempt to make Bloo somewhat likable in a way of showcasing of what he does. Because after watching these episodes were more different after watching them almost 2 decades ago. Truthfully, this episode from beginning to end is a showcase of what Bloo is mostly capable of being likable, while it doesn't try too hard to make him selfish. But the episode that I'm going to be reviewing tomorrow does showcase Mac at his worst when it comes to his own selfishness, and truthfully, I'm only glad that Nani.the.tigress requested me to review that episode from season 4 tomorrow. And it's a superheroes episode, which you probably know what episode it is. So I'm giving this episode a 6.5 out of 10, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.